But Sandra Jansen's chief of staff, Heather Mack, was sent by the NDP government, that's Heather Mack there, was sent by the NDP government to the divorce court. For what reason, we don't know. Why would government staff on government time go to someone's divorce? I don't know. I mean, maybe to help, to intimidate, to report back, to do damage control. There's just a lot of weirdness here, and the fact that the NDP is covering it up adds to the weirdness.
Yeah, I like to think that the work we do is important, and I certainly hope that the mainstream media and even the United Conservative Party picks this up, because when you have a minister of the Crown, especially someone as high up as Deron Bilous, abusing drugs and alcohol, if that is in fact the case, it really calls into question his ability to make decisions. For example, they just invested millions of dollars in artificial intelligence technology in Alberta. That was what this press conference was about. They're using taxpayer resources to run their campaign, really. But if we have a minister of the Crown who we don't know what kind of drugs he's taking, it's really concerning and is of crucial public interest to figure out what that is and how long that has been happening, and to what degree his involvement with drugs is.
Yeah, and by the way, having problems in life is not necessarily a disqualifier for having a public life. Seamus O'Regan, the former Veterans Affairs Minister, admitted to being an alcoholic, and he got help. And I presume he's got help, but he's back. I mean, John McCallum, who was recently sacked as ambassador to China, he wasn't sacked for alcoholism. You can overcome a drug and alcohol addiction. You should probably take a break from public life while you're doing it. That certainly was the lesson we all heard when Rob Ford was there. These allegations weren't by some nobody on the street, and they weren't said casually. They were sworn affidavits filed on pain of perjury by his wife to the court. And I suppose we have to take everything with a grain of salt in a family law setting that could be driven by emotion. But for the media party to ignore this, and for Deron Bilous and Rachel Notley to ignore it, I don't think that's enough. You mentioned this press conference that you were at today. I'd like to show a quick clip of you putting the question to Notley and Bilous. Let's take a look at that now.
Premier Rachel Notley, documents filed by Minister Bilous's wife, sworn affidavits, suggest that he has a problem with drug addiction, as well as suggest, the details in that sworn affidavit suggest that he might be one of the MLAs who the NDP caucus covered up in terms of sexual allegations. Can you confirm or deny this?
What I can say is that that question is essentially irresponsible rumor mongering, and with the greatest respect to you, you work for an organization that probably ought to be registered as a third party under the elections legislation, and so I have nothing more to say to that.
Minister Bilous, will you answer the question?
I have nothing further.
Other questions?
It is a shocking allegation, but it was made under oath by his wife. So I don't know if it's a rumor. I mean, I suppose his wife could be saying the rumor. If it wasn't true, I suppose they could say it. I don't think their answer was sufficient.
I don't think their answer was sufficient, and I don't think that their response to me in saying that my question is irresponsible reflects on the question at all. I think that it is a question that is what journalists should ask. They should ask the tough questions, the questions that the NDP might make the NDP and Premier Rachel Notley uncomfortable, but Albertans deserve answers to these questions, and we're just not getting them.
That's an excerpt from the Ezra Levant show. Every day I do a video monologue, and then I interview an interesting guest, and then I end by reading my hate mail. But you've got to subscribe to it, which you can do at therebel.media/shows.